In this video, let's understand the basics of Linux, few basic commands which will help you learn any of Linux concepts as you go further. So why should you use Linux? It is as simple as it is an operating system. Windows is an operating system, Mac is an operating system. Linux is also an operating system. But few features of Linux give the edge to many software industries to prefer Linux over Windows and Mac. Okay, so the actual software development, many companies use Linux as a background building platform to develop their software. Why? Because first, it allows multi-user access. That is, at one point of time, two or more people can access the system and run their programs simultaneously. And second one, multitasking. At a given point of time, multiple programs can be executed. Okay, and apart from this, the most important thing which makes everybody use or prefer Linux is that it is free of cost and open source. Open source means you can also develop your own program or your own functionality in Linux. Okay, that is called being open source. And majorly, if somebody asks you why should you learn Linux, the there are few jobs. Okay, for example, if you have a job, they give you a laptop, and so you have a screen, so you can do the job of if there is a PowerPoint job, you can clearly see and you can design it, you can use the mouse and all. But imagine if there are computers which do not have a screen. For example, take the huge data centers which are spread across acres, like a Google data center or Amazon data center, which have servers uh, filled in acres of lands. Okay, for them, they do not have screens to access or to make changes or to create something in them or to delete something in them. You have to have a language, a platform, okay, an operating system which does not require the screen to make them happen. So Linux supports all of this. Okay, if you have to operate anything which does not have a screen, you use Linux as a platform. So this part is why to use Linux. And now let's jump over to learn the 7 most important commands in Linux which help you to understand any concept of Linux after learning these. The first one is mkdir. First one is mkdir. Mkdir stands for make directory. Similar to Windows, having folders. So if you need to create a folder in Windows, you right click on the mouse, create new and create folder, and then the folder appears on your desktop. Okay, but in Linux, you call it a directory. Okay, directory is as similar as folder in Windows or Mac. Okay, to create a directory, you use the command mkdir. Okay, mkdir stands for make directory, and the syntax is mkdir space the folder name. Okay, the next one, let's understand that using WSL. Okay, mkdir space, you have to type your any folder name. Okay, for example, I create a folder name. This is a folder. Okay, folder one. Okay, or let's use directory one. Directory one. Now the folder has been, that is the directory has been created. Before that, let me tell you something that this is WSL, which stands for Windows subsystem for Linux. If you are on Mac or Linux operating system, then there is no problem. Directly open the terminal and you can type these commands and execute them. But if you are on Windows, you will not have WSL pre-installed generally. Go to YouTube, okay, and type how to install WSL, Windows subsystem for Linux on Windows. Okay, there are plenty of videos. Click on one, go step by step till you complete the uh, installation and open this window. Okay, this window appears and then you can start executing the commands. Okay, Now, so mkdir creates directory. Okay, the syntax is mkdir space the directory name. The next one is ls. After you create the directory, you will not know how or where the directory is created. Okay, if it is created or not. Ls stands for list. Okay, whenever you want to see where and what are created, you use ls command. Now let's type ls. Okay, now you can see that directory 1 is created over here. Okay, hello text has been created earlier. Now we created directory 1 and it is present with a different color. Okay, WSL or any Linux flavor will show a difference between folder and a file. So this is a file, hello.txt is a file, it is a text file, so it is presented in white color, whereas folder is presented in blue color. Now the next one is cd. If you have to create a file in Windows inside a folder, you simply click on the folder so that you enter into the folder, and then you can do whatever you want in that folder. If you create a file or create another folder in that, whatever you do is up to you. But in Linux, if you have to enter into the file or enter into the folder, you use the command cd. Cd stands for change directory. Okay, cd stands for change directory, and only if you have a directory present earlier, that is we have a directory 1 present over here, so we can use cd. Okay, now if we type cd di directory 1, the slash after the folder name, after the directory name is not compulsory, but it's a good practice to have a slash after the name of the directory. Okay, now anytime always remember that anytime you write a command, okay, anytime you write a command, you have to write a command only after the dollar sign. Okay, there is a dollar sign, only after that you can write a command. Okay, now if you see when you did cd to directory 1, the address before the dollar sign is jumped to directory 1. That means that you have entered into directory 1 folder. Okay, you have entered into directory. So cd allows you to enter into directory. And now the touch command. Touch is used to create an empty file. Okay, if you need to create an empty file, you use touch command. The syntax is simple: touch space the file name. Similar to mkdir space folder name, you create a folder. Touch space file name, you create a file. Okay, let's create that. Touch space, let the file name be simple file name, file dot, let's create a text file. It is always a very good practice to give extension to file name. So if you want to have a text file, create file.txt, or doc stands for doc. Okay, you can also create like doc, it's a document, simple. So now touch space file name creates a file inside the present directory. Okay, inside this, now if you have to see what did you create in directory 1 after you gave the command touch file.doc, you have to see whether if it's created or not. Okay, for that you again use the list command ls. Okay, when you use ls, you can clearly see that file.doc has been created inside the directory 1 folder or directory. Okay, next one, cat command. Cat command is similar to touch but different also. You can also create a file using cat command and view the contents inside the file, okay, or the data inside the file using the cat command. Let's see it in action. To create a file using cat command and enter the data at the same time, you use cat space greater than symbol, two greater than symbols, and then let's create a new file, file2, file2 dot doc or txt. After you click enter, after you write this command and click enter, there will be no dollar sign in the next line. That means cat double greater than specifies that you are ready, you are okay to give data into the file. Now you can write whatever you want, like I write hi uh, people, hi people. Okay. Now after you write anything you want in this area, then click enter, and then if you have to come out of that writing space, you click ctrl z. Okay, this is ctrl z. After you click ctrl z, whatever you have written in this area gets entered into file2.txt. Okay, you have to write cat space double greater than symbol followed by space file name, so that a file gets created, and you can also give data into that file. After you give data, you have to click enter so that you come to the next line, to an empty line, and then click on ctrl z to exit the writing space, and then the data which you have written above will be stored inside file2.txt or any file. Okay, now if you have to view what all present in the file which you have given data to, you use simple cat command only, but without any greater than symbols. Okay, you use cat space file2.txt. Okay, now I'll give you a pause over here and tell you a small trick. Okay, now if I write file2.txt and in an error, a mistake, I write txr, and now if I enter this, it says file2.txr doesn't is not present. Okay, why it happened? Because of a small, it's my error. Okay, so what you can do is, what are the files present inside directory 1? To know that, you have to click ls. Once you click ls, you can know that file.doc, file2.txt, both are present. Okay, now it can, the Linux can automatically read whatever you want to write by, okay, let's type again cat space f5. Okay, you write f5 and click tab. Okay, when you click tab, it automatically reads the contents in the file and matches whatever is starting with f5 and gives you the suggestion. Okay, now it gave file. Now after that, it is doc or txt. Okay, again you click on tab. After you click on tab, it shows there are two names starting with file, which are file.doc and file2.txt. So what you have to do now, click on 2. Okay, click on 2 and then again press tab button above caps lock button, press tab, and it will clearly read the entire file which is present. Okay, as file2 starting with file2, there is only one file. You will directly get the whole address. Okay, the whole name of the file. Now click enter. Okay, you can see that whatever you have written above while using double greater than followed by cat, hi people, now you can see that here we retrieved the data using cat command. So simple. Cat followed by greater than symbol allows you to create a file and also enter the data into the file. Cat without any double greater than, cat space the file name, allows you to see whatever is present inside the file. Now we have file.doc and file2.txt. I have mentioned that using touch command we create an empty file. How should we know if that is empty or not? Simple. Click on cat, write f5, simple. Then tab dot d and again tab. You get file.doc and click enter. Then simply the control moves to the next line and the prompt is shown. The dollar prompt is shown. That means there is no data which exists inside file.doc. So this is about cat. Next, cp command. CP stands for copy. Before CP, I'll tell you one very important command, which is man. Man command is one of the most important command in Linux. It stands for manual. Okay, whenever you buy a phone or an electric appliance, you get a product manual with that product. Okay, that which tells you how to use that product. Okay, what is the way, how to use it more efficiently and all. So the details of the product are present in that. Similarly, in Linux, man command stands for manual, and you can use man command to know how to use a particular command, what is the syntax of that command which should be used, and what are the options, extra options, so that you can use it in better way. Now let's see, you know that ls is a command, and you can list down all the present directories and files using ls command. But if you don't, assume that you do not know what does ls mean, and you should use man command to understand what is ls. Now let's type man space the command name. Let's take ls. It clearly tells how to use it. How did we use? ls stands for list directory contents. Okay, it lists the contents of the directory. Synopsis stands is syntax simply. Okay, ls option, you ignore it for now. ls space file. Okay, when you type ls space the folder name or file name, you get the list of contents. And description, list information about the file, the current directory by default. Okay, so one more small thing, just for don't get confused. Hyphen a, here there is hyphen a, hyphen capital A, hyphen hyphen author, hyphen b, and all. These are all, anything which is followed by an hyphen is called an option. Options make the better usage of a command. Okay, when you use an option, you get down deeper into how specifically you can use a command. We will look about options in later videos, but for now, after you get into the man page, okay, now you have to click q to exit. Okay, there is a line below highlighted, click q to quit. When you quit, you will again land upon the command prompt page. And now let's see the last one, that is cp. Okay, cp stands for copy. The syntax is simple. You don't know the syntax, use man command. Man space cp. There is the window, which is the manual. There you can clearly understand how to use cp. Name cp, copy files and directories. How to use the syntax. Syntax means synopsis. Okay, cp option, ignore option for now. Source space directory. Okay, cp command space what you have to copy to where you have to copy. Okay, what you have to copy is the source. Where you have to copy is a destination. Now cp space source space destination. Now let's do that in the, now let's click q. Let's practice cp. Let's see how to execute cp. Now let's click ls to know what are the files present. There is file.doc, which is empty. File2.txt, which has hi people. Okay, we already have seen it above. When you need to copy, you click cp space. Okay, there is a hi people in file2.txt, so you can directly write file2.txt. Click, please use tab button. After you write 2 to 3 letters, please click on tab. Okay, it will directly read the entire file name so that you won't get any errors, writing of the file name errors. Okay, uh, so cp space the source name, that is file2.txt, where you have the data, and next space destination, where you want to send the data. Okay, where you want to send the data, that is where you want to copy the data. File.doc, file.doc, enter. So with this, we have copied, assumably, from file2.txt to file.doc. To know if we have copied or not, what we have to do, we have to view the contents of the file. We can view the contents of the file using one command which I said earlier, which is cat command. When you click cat space file.doc, file.doc has a similar data which file2.txt had. Okay, you can see here, file2.txt had hi people. Okay, but file.doc was empty. Now when you copied the contents of file2.txt to file.doc, when you click on cat command, you can see that same content or the data has been copied from source to destination. In the next video, let's do an exercise with in which we use all these commands so that your skills are more refined. Thank you.